Hey guys, Adam Janarella here. Just want to go over my 2022 Skeeter FXR20. Did a lot of changes to it in the last 2 years. I've had the boat for 2 years now. And originally the boat came with Minn Kota 36 volt 112 thrust trolling motor, the Ultrex. I removed that and I put a Garmin Force on there, 52-inch shaft, and I really like that. I'll go over that with you. Also removed the Hummingbird mounts and graphs from the boat, and switched everything to Garmin, and removed the Minn Kota Raptors and went back to 8-foot power pole blades. So I'm going to go over the setup with you and what I did. First here we're going to go up to the bow of the boat and take a look at the front setup. This is the same mount. This is a Bass Boat Technologies mount here that I ran with the when I initially had the Hummingbirds on here. When I bought the boat, the gentleman had it was a demo boat. He did have the Mega 360 on there, and I sold that and switched over. I'm running dual Livescopes here. I got my first Livescope here on the Garmin 1022, and that is actually mounted on the trolling motor, and that is on the that's a Fish Obsessed mount on there, if you can see that. And I had to modify this. This is actually their 0-degree mount, so you get a little better picture there with that mount. When you're making long casts, you can pick up the bait a little better. The regular mount that Garmin makes is an 8-degree, so it has a little bit of a skew to it, and you kind of lose your bait sometimes when you're tracking it down on longer casts. So something I just modified here, just rounded the plastic off in here and made a slit in here with a Dremel tool, and then put a piece of rubber there so it doesn't rub on the trolling motor head, and used the clamp that was on the other mount. And now I have the LVS 34 here, where I can switch to down mode or forward mode if I need to, and it's out of the way of all the prop, and the cable is clear and everything. Just ran it up the trolling motor, and you don't want to use any zip ties there. Used all just electrical tape. Ran it up there nicely. On the front here, you'll see I also have Garmin perspective mode. That's the LVS 34 there. That's going to the 106V here. That's a 10-inch screen. They're both 10-inch screens, 1022 and then the 106V. Now I do have the 106V linked. I put two Garmin's on the console of the Skeeter, where originally had the Hummingbird 12-inch graph that I removed and sold that. So I got two Garmin 96 SVs there, and that's about all I need. I mean, I could have went with 10-inch. I went with 9-inch. It's not too much clutter. They don't stick out too much, so it's not too bad of a setup there. These are actually powered to the cranking battery, and they're on their own. I put them on their own little power switch here, and have everything labeled. So these are the graphs. They're off all the time unless you switch that down there. And then I have the Livescope, which I ran 8-gauge tin wire up to the front of the boat. And the Livescope is going to a Dakota lithium, and that's a 12-volt, 54-amp lithium battery. And that seems to run my two Livescopes all day, 8 to 12 hours, no problem with that. You do have to charge it at the end of the day. I haven't ran it 2 days in a row yet to see if it would die or not. And I'm pulling about 12.5 to 12.8 volts with both Livescopes. And that's on, again, that's a Dakota lithium. That's a 12-volt, 54-amp lithium battery. Have that on its own switch as well there. The fuse, I'm sorry. So when that's off, everything's off. The boat is on, as you can see, is on a Perco switch here. So everything on the boat is off when I'm charging it, when I'm storing it. The trolling motor also is on the same type of breaker here. It's a 30-amp breaker, I'm pretty sure. So when that's charging, that's all off too. Power pole is the same way. Everything goes right to the fuse box there. I went with the 8-foot power pole blades. Nothing new there. Just I ran the Minn Kota Raptors for a year. Nothing wrong with them. They were great. I just wanted to go back to power pole. I liked how they were a little more sleeker. They both work great. I mean, they're both good. I just had better luck with power pole, and their customer service is excellent. Also put a Bass Fishing Electronics little light on there. Little anchor light. Bass Fishing Electronics graph mount here for the stern of the boat. That's clear of the TH Marine. This is a 12-inch setback Atlas jack plate. And I pick up a pretty good picture. That's a GT56. That's going to the 96V here on the right. So here I have my, I'll use this for side scan, down scan, regular 2D sonar. And then over here, I'm just running strictly mapping. So I got mapping on one side, which is linked to the 106V. And so the waypoints, you hit a waypoint there, you'll see it here. It's a great setup. It works great. I mean, I have not put a lot of hours yet on the Garmin Force, but I am really impressed with it. It's a 52-inch shaft. It's got plenty of power. I do notice a difference in the batteries. This has about 20 or 30% more battery life than the Ultrex did. And the brushless motor is really strong, works really well in the current. I mean, I'm happy with it. The foot pedal here is wireless, so there's no cords to get around your graphs, and I put a little pad on there from EFX Fishing. I did run you can either run 2 AA batteries, but I hardwired the foot pedal into one of these switches in the boat, so it has power all the time. It's secured in there. It's not going anywhere. And it's a great trolling motor. I'm really impressed with it. Really impressed with the Garmin's too. Their mapping is good. Their GPS waypoint system is good. And obviously the Livescope and the perspective mode is what I feel is way better than what Lowrance and Humminbird are offering. The picture is very crisp and clear. There's all types of settings you can go on and mess with it. We're not going to get into that. You just have to make sure you have adequate power here, which I do. And with these graphs, I usually stick with the perspective mode on the 106 and then the forward-facing mode on the 1022. And this setup, I didn't buy everything all at once. I had the 1022. I purchased that 3 years ago. And I had the Omega 360, which I sold, and I bought the second LVS 34 for perspective mode. And I used Mega Live for about 2 years, two and a half years, and it's really cool. But the perspective mode is 10 times better. You have live feed of what's in front of you, and I just like how it's live. You don't have to wait for the sonar to come back around. You can scan with it. I have it set out to 100 feet, and I can pick up rocks and laydowns, brush piles, anything you can pick up on the Mega 360. It's there, it's live, and you can see the fish swimming around. It's really cool. And you pair that with the Garmin Livescope, and you can really pinpoint areas that you want to fish, whether it's a brush pile, whether it's laydowns, whether it's a rock pile or grass. It just really helps you to dial in. And I don't consider myself an offshore fisherman. I'm getting better at using this stuff, and it's really fun. And it's actually opened up a lot of lakes around here that we didn't fish as much. I've been going to them more, and we've been catching some good fish, and it's been fun. So if you're in the market for any Garmin products, these are 2 great ones here to get started with. It's a 1022 Garmin, and it's a 10-inch screen, and the 106 SV, that's also a 10-inch screen. Now the Garmin here, the 1022, a lot of the controls are on the toggle, on this little toggle button here, and then this one is touchscreen. It's kind of the best of both worlds for me. I like the toggle because in the rain sometimes it's hard to get the touchscreen to work. Back to the Garmin Force, awesome trolling motor, quiet, strong. Came with the, I'm just running the standard prop that it came with. I did put on the TH Marine prop nut on there. And that's my setup. And it's really cool. I'm excited to get out this year. I got the forward facing on here. That's a Fish Obsessed 0 degree mount. I'm waiting for the Fish Obsessed Dominator perspective mount to come out. I just have it here. Kind of hard to see. I just have it here on the actual Garmin mount, which is good. You can pick up with the perspective mode. For me, I can pick up to about 15 feet. And when you get deeper than 15 feet, you start to lose the bottom. It kind of shows up black or really dark. You can still see some fish, but the angle needs to go down a little bit. And with that Fish Obsessed Dominator perspective mount, you can angle it down a little more just by clicking it. So I'm anxious to get that on the boat and try it out. Hope this video helps you guys. See ya.